Hello everyone and welcome to episode 7 of POH Bother, my chunk-locked Ultimate Iron Man. It's been quite a while since I said that, since I haven't recorded anything on this account in over a month, so might be a little rusty. But while I haven't recorded anything, I have been working on it. I mentioned at the end of last episode I was going to work at a pretty big gear upgrade, and yeah, I did manage to finish that. So if you look at my stats here, you'll notice they're a good bit higher than where they were last time. Mainly the melee combats have went up a lot. And if you look at my inventory, you'll see I have quite a cash stack now. So, you might be guessing what gear I got, but if I open the armor case, now this is something I've had access to for quite a while, but I finished out full void. So this is just really big on an Ultimate Iron Man because not only is it a pretty strong armor I was able to get essentially for free, but it works for all combat styles and it gives pretty substantial bonuses. Like, aside from the set effect, the skirt here is equivalent to pre-nerfed Black D'hide, pretty much. So that's a huge upgrade from what I had, studded chaps. And in general, it has about the same stats as Mithril, but with a good magic defense. And even for magic, it is more accurate than Zerishian robes, although it's going to be worse than Mystic. So mainly for melee and ranged is what I'd want it for. But this will help a lot with well, everything combat related, really. So this means I get one chunk unlock for my full void set here. Actually, might as well just keep the void on. So yeah, one chunk unlock for the full void set. Then I also got one for 50 hit points, 50 attack, and 60 strength. So let's load up the chunk picker and roll the first chunks in quite a while. Now I did also fix a couple things. One, I realized that I actually could do my Slayer task of Calfights. So I forgot one of the most common knowledge obscure things, or however you want to term it. You can get to the Calfight lair through the Dorgish Khan dungeon. So that technically means I can also come up here making that unlockable, and I also fixed something with the elf unlock. I think that was an unlockable or something. Either way, let's roll the first chunk. So the first chunk is the back entrance of the Woodcutting Guild. That is awesome. I really would love to get this one, and this one, and this one. But I'm not going to complain about the back entrance, even if that's not quite as useful as the front. Next up, Crandor. We finally got Crandor. So that's been rollable for a while since I was able to complete Dragon Slayer 2 Crandor. And yeah, if we roll this one, this means I can do Dragon Slayer this episode, which would be awesome. Another one is Wilderness Chunk. I don't know if that would be a free unlock, so I'm holding it off for now. I think that might be a dead chunk because it doesn't connect anything. And the final chunk unlock is not much down here. Oh well, I don't think I can get here from here, so that would not be unlockable. Oh well. But yeah, that's a pretty good start to the episode. As for what I want to do now, I can go do Waterfall Quest, though I'm not sure if I really want to do it right now. I would like to do some training, but I don't know. It might be better to get the experience from Waterfall first, although maybe I should just do a bit of ranging. So I'll see what I get up to, but yeah, it's nice to be back on this account, and there's definitely a lot of stuff I want to work on. I decided to start this episode by making sure I could actually get to Calfights, and there's the Calfight task completed. For the time being, I think I will just try and work a bit more at Slayer, but yeah, I would like to get to Quest not too far from now. I decided to try something I might regret, because the low-level Slayer task can't get me Slayer points, and they've just been really slow and bad experience, so I'm going to see if Annika can give me a task I can actually do, and okay, that's actually what I was hoping for. That's not going to be an easy task, but yeah, I actually just turned off the combat level check so I could get a task like Fire Giant. So yeah, I can go safe spot them in the waterfall. Speaking of which, I think it's time to go do Waterfall Quest. Well, this quest was a bit stressful, but it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. There is Waterfall Quest completed. I actually had to get rid of my looting bag so I could go use the pebble, and I also couldn't put my coins in the Nightmare Zone coffer because I haven't done enough quests yet to access Nightmare Zone, so still waiting a bit on that. But now that I have Waterfall Quest completed, I can roll another chunk, and I get the Bandit Camp. Always wilderness. Oh well. Hopefully I'll finish up wilderness soon and we can start rolling more interesting chunks, or get chunks in the wilderness that are a bit more interesting. But now that I have Waterfall Quest completed, I can come back here more easily. I also got some stuff that I'll probably just sell to shops. And yeah. I didn't really get that much experience though because it's already pretty high level, but hey, not gonna complain about free experience. And now I can come back here to range the fire giants for my Slayer task. And there's the Fire Giant task completed. It took me a while, but it gave me a lot of Slayer experience, at least for this early in the account, and also my first Slayer points aside from the 30 I got from that quest. In addition to that, I got a couple of Rune Scimitars, which would be nice alks, but I want to hold on to them for the time being. Aside from that, you might have noticed that I'm in my magic gear, and while I did come here and start ranging, I ran out of bone boats. But aside from that, before I realized I could do Slayer this episode, I did want to buy a bunch of Fire Strikes and train magic and hopefully get some rare drops in the process. So while I was stocking up and before I came here, I did buy 10k Fire Strikes and also brought the Mage Helm for that reason. So now that the task is over, I'm going to go get a new task, and if it's not one I want to do or can do, I'm going to go start maging stuff. But before I do that, I did manage to hit 900 total level and also 30 Slayer, so I get a couple of chunk unlocks. So first, the random chunk unlock for 30 Slayer is, oh, Corsair Cove. So I actually was just talking about this with a friend, and they mentioned I should go down here to mage on OSRS so I could out the drops and get a lot of money. That is definitely something I'll be considering, and I think I can also do the Corsair Curse because I think it only needs these 2 chunks, so that's really nice. And now for my bonus chunk unlock, I get... Okay, where's the other chunk? Well, I can't say that area of the wilderness really does anything for me. There might be something there I'm forgetting. I think there are rats there, but I think I'd much rather have the hunter area. I should be able to even go there from here. So, yeah, the hunter area is unlocked. So, 2 adjacent chunks. That doesn't happen too often. And actually, I'm not sure if I can get into this area. I'll check that out before I mark it as unlockable. But, yeah, so I have a bunch of fire strikes and, looking pretty good. Also, I got a loot path and a bone for Ragged Bone Man. So, yeah. While I was at Fire Giants, I was looking over the plugin hub and I found something relevant to this series. So if I look in the armor case here, you'll see that the full sets are now tinted green and I have these new options at the top. So if I uncheck empty sets, it will only show sets that have stuff in them. So if I did want to, say, put in partial void, there we go. It will show it as blue because it's a partial set. Can hide that as well. So this will make it a lot easier to find what I have in the armor case because, yeah, there's a lot of sets in here that aren't super relevant and just that I don't have yet. Also, I did get a new Slayer task and it was Calfights, so I'll probably do that later. So earlier I alluded to using the Fire Strikes to try and get some rare drops, and the place I wanted to do that at was Zar. So I've been here using up my Fire Strikes, and I've got my magic up a considerable bit, and I've also gotten pretty lucky. So there's 2 drops I'm after, and I got them both. The first is the Obsidian Cape. Now this is one of the account goals, but I don't have the cape rack yet in my player-owned house, so I can't store it, so it won't actually count until I build the cape rack. But still, this is a really nice upgrade. It's one of the best capes I'm going to get for a while. I mean, there are some other capes I can store that will be good as well, but it's just a good all-around cape, and it looks really nice with Void. The other one is this Obsidian Shield here. Now, unfortunately, I can't equip this one, but I think it is worth holding on to because it's not only very defensive, but it has 5 strength. So until I'm able to get defenders, this is my best offensive melee shield I'll have as well. So I'll probably end up putting that in the looting bag. But for now, I think I'm going to go to Ogres's and finish up my fire strikes there as well as range them so I can try alching some of their drops and getting my cash stack back up. But aside from that, I did manage to get a beginner clue, and it has... Okay, I guess that's to be expected. Wanted to save it just in case it was something good. And, oh, right, I also got over 50 magic since the last clip, so I get to roll 1 chunk for that. So, yeah, let's see what chunk I got. Also, the chunk picker is on a dark theme, but it changed back, so I'm not sure if it's gonna stay on dark. But, Actually, nope, that's a pretty useless chunk. Actually, I think I can technically canoe there, because I was looking into ways to get white berries earlier, because I really would like to do, or I'm working towards getting to the Magic Guild, so I can buy runes from there, but I somewhat forgot I need to do Hand in the Sand, which needs white berries, so I technically could canoe up there, but I also kind of need to suicide because I wouldn't be able to get back. I don't know. There are other ways to get white berries, but yeah, that is an option. While I was in the area, I figured I might as well knock out the Corsair curse. So there is one more quest completed and one more chunk from that. So, what chunk do I get now? Oh, that one. Well, I made this one unlockable because if I unlocked this one first, it would have been a connecting chunk, even though it's not very useful. So, well, at least it's out of the way now. I've been pretty busy training at Ogresses, and there is 50 range. Now I can actually use magic bows and blue d'hide if I happen to get either. But yeah, so my skill total has went up a considerable amount. So aside from 50 range, I have also gotten 31 prayer, so an unlock for 30. And I also am now at 63 magic, which means if I use a wizard mind bomb, I should be able to boost to get into the wizards guild. So that'll be nice for later on. But because you can't access the rune shop in the guild until you do hand in the sand, after I finished training at magic, I did get 49 crafting so I can do hand in the sand later on. And I also had to redo my looting bag once or twice. But yeah, if you look in my looting bag now, I did enchant the Amulet of Strength. And I also have quite a nice cash stack now, around 300k, which will help because I do want to do more construction training later on, and that's, well, going to take up most of the cash stack. On top of that, I have gotten a lot of really nice runes from here. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep Cosmics long term, but I definitely have plans to use these Death and Chaos runes later on. And the Law runes and Nature runes will also be very helpful. I'm thinking I'm going to keep Law runes on me now, just so I can teleport around more easily. And I also think this will speed up construction training a lot, because now I can just teleport to Varrock and teleport back to my house. So yeah, and you might also notice I have a Bullseye Lantern, and it is a full Bullseye Lantern. Unfortunately, I don't have the fire making level to light it, but when I do, I can also do Tears of Gothics now. So I think what I'm going to do now is go train fire making up to 49 so I can do Tears of Gothics, because I really would like to get the easy rune crafting and other experience, because, I don't know, on a UIM, I feel like training my lowest skill will be actually very, very useful. And I realized right after I finished that clip that I forgot to roll the chunk, so I decided to tidy up my inventory a bit first. I think I am going to sell the mind runes, just because, I don't know, I don't feel like I really need the mind runes right now, especially when I have Chaos and Death and just to save an inventory spot, at least for helping with fire making. Anyway, so yeah, I have 3 chunks, one for 60 magic, one for 50 ranged, and one for 30 prayer. So the first chunk is... I feel like that one's actually more useful than it seems right now. I probably can do Tower of Life. I don't think it really unlocks like anything else major at the moment, but it also was pretty annoying. Anytime I came to Artie and wanted to go south, I had to go all the way around this way and I couldn't use that little pass. So that will be nice at least. So glad to see that one. Next chunk is... Ooh... So that way is now unlockable, and if I unlock this one, I can start working up here. I think I can start the quest, but I know it needs Port Phasmatis. But oh, I also can get into the Gnome Stronghold now without having to use the one-way spirit tree, so that'll be nice. And the final chunk unlocked for the moment is... I actually don't know how the pathway works here. Also, the dark chunk picker sometimes makes it a little hard to see what's locked and unlocked. I might change back. But, yeah, I'll have to look into this. I'm not sure if I can get down to this chunk or if it really needs this chunk first. But, yeah. So those are the 3 chunks. Nothing too spectacular, but I might be able to do Tower of Life for another unlock. As you can see in the chat box, I completed Tears of Gothics and I did my first round of the minigame, and it got me from 11 to 14 rune crafting. Not very good, but I don't have that high of quest points yet, and at low levels the experience is also not that high. Also, I did end up going to 50 fire making instead of 49 just so I get the other chunk unlock. So 2 more chunk unlocks. The first one for 50 fire making. There's a spirit tree there. Otherwise, I don't think there's that much that matters now. It does mean that I can now, access this chunk from this side, though. But, yeah, I don't think that chunk's too good. And, Tears of Gothics unlocks... I don't think that really does much for me. I can get there through Dorgish Khan, and, well, now I could use that shortcut if I had it. But, yeah, it just is starting to open up more of the desert, which isn't too bad. But now what I'm going to work on is I have, well, I cleared out my inventory a lot, With the fire staff and this equipped, I'm going to put this back in the player-owned house. I can drop these and also be dropping the lantern here. You can't extinguish it here, but you don't need a light source to be in here, which is why I tried. But actually, let me just teleport back to my house. So, yeah, but I'm now going to start working on training construction. There we go. And put this back in here. So the plan is I'm going to do 19 planks per inventory. And I'm going to keep the hammer and salt on me just so I don't have to do any drop shenanigans, like drop a plank, get an item, come in and out. And yeah, but the plan is I'm going to get both of these, teleport to Varrock, run over to the sawmill, cut an inventory of logs, you know, turn them into planks at the sawmill, teleport back to my house. So this will take a while, but my goal is to get to 52 construction, which will not only give me a chunk unlock, but it also will get me the, or let me boost to make the cape rack so I can put this cape on there and get, I think it also will finish the costume room for that. Oh no, it will get a few count goals and chunk unlocks. So yeah, it's going to take a while, but I'm going to start working on it now. To be honest, that construction grind was a lot quicker than I was expecting. I actually think it was a lot easier to get into 49 crafting because I had to buy it in Brimhaven and smelt it in Arty. But yeah, the teleports definitely came in really handy there, and anytime I do construction in the future, I'm going to make sure to have teleports. But I should be able to boost now and build this. There we are, the oak cape rack. So this now means that my costume room is completed in the oak tier for that account goal. Woohoo! And now if I take off this cape, I should be able to put it on the cape rack, which was another account goal. So yeah, now I can finally store capes, only the obsidian one there at the moment, but there's a ton of capes here. I currently can't put capes of accomplishment, but you know, I can get a lot of the other ones, including another cape I want to try and go for later this episode. But for now, I have a few chunks to roll. So first, I have 50 construction, so that's another chunk. So let's see what I get. And Fountain of Rune. You know, oh, that does unlock, or make this one unlockable, but honestly not the worst chunk I could get. There definitely are some interesting things you can do there, like the alching without runes and charging stuff like a Ring of Wealth, so that'll be useful later on for when I want stuff in the costume room, probably. The next up, I have the chunk roll for completing the costume room, which is, ooh, getting into the desert, I see. Well, I definitely probably would want to work on other areas first, but there are a lot of interesting things in the desert, especially like the agility pyramid. So, yeah, that's not a bad one to get. And the final one for getting the obsidian cape is... okay, I'm actually kind of happy with that one. So I have been wanting to get more of Zaya so I can do stuff with the Zaya favor, especially getting to the library here, because that's not only a terrible way to train magic, but, you know, just getting the favor, especially if I can get up to that spell book, would be pretty handy. So not mad to have more of Arceus to work in that direction, although no unlocks that are like, you know, game-changing right now. There's a few that would be like that, you know, like the Varrock South chunk here. I'm surprised I still haven't been able to roll that, but oh well. But for now, I'm not sure actually what I want to do immediately, so let me think about it. So after reviewing everything I want to work on, I think it's time for this account to have its first death. So I haven't really done much with this side of UIM so far. The most I've done is use the looting bag and destroying the wilderness to get my items out. But if you die as the ultimate Iron Man, your items, including everything in the looting bag, drops to the floor and remains there, only visible to you for an hour. Now, I have considered using stuff like tables, and I have used them occasionally in the past, but considering everything I have on me, I really don't want someone else to yoink it. So what I want to do is go to the mage arena and try to get myself the god capes. So to do that, I am going to pick these nettles here, which will kill me. And now when I go back there, I think I even have, yeah, I have a little plugin that shows me which world I died on and how long it's there. So if I go back now, I should be able to take the items I want, such as those Death and Chaos runes. Then I can go up to the mage arena, hopefully get the safe spot right and be able to kill the guy, get the god capes, come back and pick up my other stuff. So, well, let's hope this works as I planned and I didn't end up losing anything or I don't screw up in the wilderness. Also, just as a quick confirmation, yep, everything's here. So, yeah, let me just grab the items I need and head to the mage arena. Okay, so I might have been a little overly worried about how hard this would be. Oh, Hello, teleport me out. Okay, that was actually the most scary part. But yeah, so now I should be able to claim one of each of the capes for my player-owned house, which is another one of the account goals. However, I'm not going to claim the staff yet, because I'll probably want to leave it on the NPC to claim for later, if I ever go for the, or when I go for the upgraded capes. So yeah. Doesn't really matter which one I get first, so I'm just going to go for Gothics first and go back and get the rest of my items. While my inventory is looking very full at the moment, I'll definitely need to get a looting bag back to sort this a bit better. But if I use the cape rack here, I should be able to put one of each of these god capes on. However, since Ultimate Iron Man can only store one, it won't let me put in a duplicate. So if I lose one, I'll have to go all the way back to the mage arena. But there is a god cape, or one of each god cape, I should say, which is another account goal. So let's center up and roll another chunk, which is... okay, this unlocks Lovakenge. I now can go over the bridge to get there, and I also think I can go through here to there, and there. So a lot more chunks on Zaya, and getting closer to being able to work on stuff like Lovakenge Favor. Not that I really want to work on Lovakenge Favor, but working through the Zaya favors. However, I think this is where I'm actually going to wrap up this episode. There's a lot more I want to do now that I have a higher construction, and, related things to that. I still need to do Hand in Sand again to the Wizards Guild, and I would like to build a portal chamber. That's one of the main things, but I don't quite have the cash stack for it yet. So I think what I'm going to do, aside from sorting my inventory, is between episodes, I'll kill some more Ogre Shamans, probably mage them or range them, and see if I can get this cash stack up a bit. So hopefully in the next episode, I'll have more money to work towards some of the other things I want to get up to. But yeah, I think for this episode, I did make a fair amount of progress. I mean, I got the Void between episodes, and I got made a lot of progress on my stats, and getting very close to 1,000 total as well, which should be next episode. So yeah, anyway, hopefully you guys are enjoying this series, and until next time, goodbye.